After 307 days, an off-season of training, and almost a full collegiate season, baseball is back at Doran Park for the first time since August 12th. The teams are ready, the weather is good enough to keep things interesting, and the Bourne faithful are already here and have the atmosphere buzzing. Thanks for hanging with us on this Father's Day evening. Can't think of a better way to spend one myself. Devon Jarvis alongside Adam Gotkin, the third member of our team in Ariel Tamir-Pinsky, will join us later in the game. Adam, I don't think it's right to begin this broadcast any other way than to wish a happy Father's Day to our fathers. So Tyler, Dad, thank you so much for everything. Happy Father's Day.
Absolutely. Ben, thank you so much for everything. We would not be here without our fathers.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's true. It's true. And now we have some Bourne and Chatham baseball ahead. The Anglers and the Braves both lose their opening day game, both 0-1, and a great matchup ahead. We get things underway shortly. Just to let you know, we are having some technical difficulties right now. Had to only go for radio for the moment. Hopefully we can get those fixed for you as the game goes on. First batter of the day will be Ethan Mendoza for Chatham. Infielder and junior out of Texas. Transferred from Arizona State. And the pitcher he goes against is Zane Petty out of Texas Tech. High velocity, is looking to have a good summer season before his senior season at Texas Tech. Adam, this should be a fun one.
It should be, and Petty's got really electric stuff. Was a weekend guy this past year for the Red Raiders, so he's got really good stuff.
5.92 ERA in his collegiate season last year. 12 starts of 14 games. Got that first pitch strike. Counts now 1-1. And for the other side, Chatham, it was their offense that really didn't show up yesterday. Scoreless against Falmouth. Defense played amazing, but they're going to need the bats today. Mendoza, a solid player leading off. Was in the State College Spites League in the 2023 summer. Didn't have any summer ball last year, but at Texas, 5 home runs. Batted .333. Good pitch in there for a called strike. Count now 2-2 for Petty. And Petty's a guy with a lot of velocity and a smaller frame. Could present a big challenge to these Chatham batters. Fifth pitch in the dirt. And the lineups on either side for you. Defensively, we've got Cal Sefcik in left field. In center field, John LeGrand, Logan Hughes in right. Filling out the infield left to right, Cade Lewis at third, Justin LeBron at short, Caden Doolin at second base, Braden Holcomb at first, and behind the dish, Campbell Smithwick. Fastball lifted high. This one will tail out into foul territory. A little bit of change in the defensive lineup for the Braves. Not too much different.
Yeah, we see Braden Holcomb move from right field to first base. He's a guy with so much versatility, can play anywhere on the field. And then Cade Lewis, who was at first yesterday, moves across the diamond to third. It'll be interesting to see what he does at third base. A very big guy at the hot corner.
Doolin and Sefcik both come in, as well as Smithwick. They replace Keenan, Molinaro, and Riker Waite. Here's the payoff. Just low. And that was kind of the theme for the Braves in their first inning yesterday against Harwich. Allowed 6 runs against the Mariners. That was all the Mariners ended up needing to win that game, 7-5. And it was an inning you'd like to forget, Adam.
Without a doubt, free passes kill you. Yesterday it was 2 walks, 2 hit by pitches in that first, in addition to 2 errors. Starting off today with a walk, that's definitely not ideal.
Second batter out of San Diego, transferred from Oklahoma, it's Isaiah Lane. He sits himself at shortstop and crowds the plate. Chop down the middle. They might try and turn 2. No, LeBron will look for 1. An easy toss over to Holcomb to get the first out.
That's a smart play by Justin LeBron to just go to first, not try and force that double play ball where you potentially could have gotten no outs. Just hit too soft for LeBron to even try and think about flipping it to second. Makes the right play.
LeBron's a smart defensive guy. We saw him a lot yesterday. With his offensive struggles, still was a rock there at shortstop.
2-time All-SEC defensive team.
All-American selection, too. Henry Ford steps into the righty's batter's box now. A called strike to start. Ford, besides having the same name as the founder of Ford Motors, he also comes from Virginia. He's in the transfer portal right now. Just spent his junior season there. We'll take a hat at this next one. Counts 0-2. But Chatham, with their offensive struggles, are honing in this one to maybe just take it an at-bat at a time. On the other side, you can see the same thing from Bourne, too. Make the game a little simpler. Limit the self-inflicted mistakes, too. Petty just last year at Texas Tech had some ups and downs. 60 innings pitched. Just about a 6 ERA as he stares at second base and comes home. Foul tip, that one. They go toward the side of the Bourne dugout. Nice icy white uniforms. Great to see those for the first time.
These are the cleanest they'll be all year, Devon. Might be half brown uniforms in just a couple of days.
Ford steps back in. Back of the righty's batter's box with a square stance to the plate. Here's the from Petty. Cut and a miss. Send him back to the dugout swinging.
This Chatham team went down 17 times via the strikeout last night against Falmouth. They only walked 3 times. So there's definitely a chance for Bourne to try and take advantage of some bats that may be a little bit extra amped up, which, you know, in baseball can be a bad thing. You want to be even keel.
Mendoza at second base. At home, it's a new batter in Hanley. Excuse me, Hanley. He cuts at the first one. Doesn't get anything to it.
This is a stud at the plate. Big Ten freshman of the year. He's got all the tools to be a great player one day.
Next pitch on the outer edge. Gets the call. Petty working really well so far. Talking to this team, Petty was a guy who stood out in the bullpen before he really got going in this game, and he's been showing it so far. Here's the 0-2. Cut on and miss, just popped out of Smithwick's glove, and it caught a little bit of the lumber of Hanley. Hanley, second team All Big Ten as well, beyond that Freshman of the Year accolade. He digs back into the left side, all the way back in the box. Here's the 0-2 for Petty from the stretch. Stares at second, steal going. This one lifted up, foul out of play to the left side. Mendoza, who reached with a walk and got to second on Lane's 6-3 putout, is active in the base path for the first time today. Hanley looking to drive him home. Infield back. Petty's going to come set at his chest. Looks at second, now kicks and fires. The 0-2 catches the outer edge. Great location to retire the side, and the Bourne bats will come out next. We'll step aside for just a moment. Thanks for staying with us here on Cape League TV. We'll be back after a short break.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Back here on Cape League TV, it's Bourne's first time up with the bats, and John LeGrand, who had a great day yesterday, will lead things off for Bourne. Has that high batting stance as he tips the first one back into the glove of Duncan Matthews. Pitcher on the mound for Chatham is Ryan Borberg, the senior out of Dallas Baptist. Grew up in Kansas, just outside of Kansas City, and he's been a really solid player for Baptist as the 0-1 comes in. Hard grounder towards second base. Mendota fields between his legs, fires across the diamond to first. Hanley with the out.
You're going to want to get deeper into at-bats against this guy. Just 2 pitches there to start the game off. Borberg, as you said, very, very talented on the mound. First team All-Conference USA as a starter. So the quicker you can get him out of the game and into the Chatham bullpen, which is a little bit rocky, the better you're going to look.
And now the man of the summer, or what could be for Bourne, it's Justin LeBron. Didn't have his day yesterday. First pitch. LeBron will watch this one by, but went 0 for 5 with 2 strikeouts. And for a player as talented as LeBron, it was probably underwhelming. Defensively solid, but coach is going to look for a little bit more out of him today. 0-1 just off the outer edge of the plate. It's 2-0.
Takes time to get used to the wood bat and just get used to seeing live pitching again. It's been a couple weeks for LeBron.
He talked about getting the rust off, too. Felt like as the game went on, it got easier. The 2-0. This one skied out high, shallow center field. Calling for it is Mendoza. He'll back off, give it to Ford, and make the one-handed grab, outstretched with his left. So LeBron now retired on 4 consecutive flyouts, including last game. Next up, Cade Lewis, the third baseman. Lewis, another decent game yesterday. He started off shaky with 2 strikeouts, then came in and found a little bit of production with a single and a walk. Takes the first pitch for a strike. Ryan Borberg, in his 16 appearances at Texas Baptist, had 15 starts and a 3.38 ERA. He's from the windup, covers his face and fires. Way outside, 1-1. Defensively, the lineup for Chatham is Daniel Jackson in left, Henry Ford in center, Jackson Freeman in right. The 1-1 pitch on the way from Borberg. Lewis nicks it back. Infield is Travis Sanders, Isaiah Lane, Ethan Mendoza, and Jake Haney, with behind the dish defensively, Duncan Matthews. Lewis, who resides out of Wake Forest, is a highly touted prospect that I think the Braves fans should be excited about this season. Just came off a strong year at Wake as the 1-2 is in the dirt.
Bravos fans are very familiar with Demon Deacons. Last year, Ethan Conrad and Merrick Houston, you could argue, were the 2 top bats for this squad. So Wake and Bourne get along well, and I think Lewis is the next guy to excite a lot of Braves fans.
Batted an astounding 376 last season for the Demon Deacons. Here's the 2-2 from the windup. Lifted left field line as it hooks foul. Landing right by our concessions. Beyond just the first game at Dorn Park for the Braves, we've got a lot of Bourne faithful in attendance. As it's my first game at Dorn Park, too. It's surprising to see how many faithful we've got here. Great supporters.
Impressive turnout, without a doubt.
We'll do it again on the 2-2. From the left side, Cade Lewis is ready. Just inside. Matthews wanted to frame it in there, couldn't convince home plate umpire Sam Finn. So it's a full count for the first time this evening. Talked about working deeper into at-bats. They do that against Borberg here. Lewis rests his bat on his left shoulder. The payoff. Inside, he'll toss his bat to the far side and home dugout and take his place at first base. Lewis did that once yesterday and now opens the batter's box to Braden Holcomb. He was one of those solid players for Bourne just a year ago. Yesterday got better as the game went on, and after getting retired in his first 2 by way of strikeout, he got on base 2 more times. 2 outs on the board. The Braves are looking for a rally. Lewis has a lead at first. Now from the stretch is Borberg. Has his back to first and fires. A well-placed pitch, fastball in there for a strike. Another good relationship that Scotlanders and Bourne has is with Vanderbilt. Holcomb, one of those players. Not the only Commodore on this Bourne team. The 0-1 pitch now for Borberg. Appears at first and comes home. Good contact, but straight down into the glove of Duncan Matthews. Borberg making quicker work of the first 2 batters, Legrand and LeBron. Lewis and Holcomb now presenting a different challenge. Close stance for Holcomb at the back. Shaking his bat, takes it. And a cut on strike 3 and miss. Great pitch for Borberg. And a scoreless first inning we have here from Dorn Park.
Before we go to break, we'd like to give a special thanks to Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay, Bourne's premier senior living community. Conveniently located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us at KeystonePlace@buzzardsbay.com. Also, Marty Chevrolet, your dealer for the people, proudly supports the Bourne Braves baseball team. See all our cars and trucks at martychevrolet.com, and go Braves.
We'll step aside for a few moments and come back for the top of the second.
At the Mass State Lottery, we know there's no bigger win than the $1 billion we provide each year to support all 351 cities and towns in Massachusetts. Now that's how we all win. The Mass State Lottery. Welcome to the state of winning.
Thanks for sticking with us here on a wonderful Father's Day evening. A packed Dorn Park as Bourne and Chatham square off now the top of the second inning. Petty remains on the mound, and he'll see Daniel Jackson for the first time in this outing. The righty batter holds his hands high and gets set. First pitch skied high, middle infield. Calling for it here is Doolin. Hands it off instead to Holcomb. He'll make the grab right between first and second base. 1 pitch, 1 out. Can't ask for much more.
That's perfect. Great efficiency there.
This pitching staff for the Braves was the star of the show in the 2024 season, Adam. It's really what brought them to the title, especially in the months of July and August. Made a run to the finals, and this year, you're hoping they can do it again. In that first game, it wasn't really what you hoped for. As new batter and Jackson Freeman takes strike 1.
This is without a doubt a pitcher's league. There's so many that come in and out throughout the season that you just have to hope you have the best ones by the end, and these ones at the beginning can pick up wins.
Freeman just off the inside, takes a curveball in there for ball 1. Count 1-1. Petty here is looking to make a name for himself in the Cape before he heads into his senior season. It's a big one for him. Is the 1-1. It's rocketed right back up the middle of the infield. Hops once and then into the glove of John LeGrand in center field. first base hit of the day for either side, and Freeman will do the job.
Perfect piece of hitting, big for Freeman after going 0-4 yesterday. Just sends it right back where it came from. Hard line drive up the middle. That's exactly what you want to see if you're this Chatham coaching staff. Just good hitting, good solid contact, because that's what they didn't have last night.
Next, the redshirt sophomore out of Austin P. Puts the first one foul on the far side after the fastball comes in from Petty. Johnson, the designated hitter today, is transferred to P from Oklahoma. Was the Atlantic Sun freshman of the year as he rockets this one left side of the infield. LeBron fields, throws to second, throw across the diamond from Doolin. They're in time. A 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. And efficient pitching coming from Zane Petty. He'll bring the bats back out. We'll step aside for another half inning here and come back in the bottom of the second. Thanks for staying with us. We'll be right back.
Get ready for big results with our small machines. With more power, performance, comfort, and savings. They're ready for every job. And we're ready with plenty of inventory, the best support in the business, same-day parts availability, and locations across the Northeast. So you can always be ready to work. Milton Cat, always ready.
Back at Dorn Park for the bottom of the second inning between the Anglers and the Braves. It's the man who stood out yesterday in all of Cape Cod baseball. Logan Hughes had the only home run of the evening on opening day and looked to do it again. First pitch from Borberg. It gets past the glove of Duncan Matthews, a called ball.
Hughes just has such a clean, compact swing. From the left side, he does a great job of getting the barrel right in to prime swinging territory.
Next pitch skied high behind the netting and becomes the first souvenir for these fans on the Bourne side. Hughes a really solid player. Adam, we talked about him a lot before the season started as one of those players who in BP stood out quite a bit, putting a few balls over the fence, and then he does it in his first game, the 1-1. Off the plate outside. The lefty, like you said, he's got that smooth swing. And for all these guys, as the game went on, they got more comfortable. So if comfortable is a home run, and he's only getting better, it's going to be scary to see what he can do this season. Takes the fourth pitch, low and inside. It's a 3-1 count.
Took a while for the power to come out last season for Bourne. Took a couple games for the first home run. It took until
what did you say, it was like game 14?
Something. It was game 14 for the first home run.
A 3-1, right side of the infield, scooped up by Hanley. He'll trot over to first to get the 3-U.
Now that I think about it, Landon Vitterick did hit a grand slam against Falmouth in like the second or third game of the season last year.
Okay.
And for a while, that was all they had. It was one grand slam and no home runs. And then eventually they started to pick up, but still, I mean, a home run in the first game of the season at a place like White House Field is definitely promising when it comes to the power.
Dorn Park, not going to be easy to put one over the fence in. Weber Niels is the next batter from Minnesota. He went 2 for 4 with a walk yesterday. One of the standout hitters at the bottom of the order. Now jumps up just a spot here to 6th in the order. Here's the 0-1. Low and outside. Another good frame attempt by Matthews, not convincing enough. Base path empty, infield playing at standard depth. The inner infield with their heels on the grass. The 1-1. Niels is going to watch this one by in the dirt. Outfield maybe shifted just a little bit left against the righty batter. He crowds the plate with an open stance in the back of the batter's box. Waggles his lumber, gets set for the 2-1. Low and inside. A disciplined eye from the Braves here in the second inning. At-bats were a little bit shorter there in the first. Now they've got it better. From the windup. A called strike 2. You got a full count here for Weber Niels. Conversation with Sam Finn behind home plate to see where that was in the zone. Here's the payoff for Burberg. Cut on and fouled behind home plate. He stays alive. Niels, a dangerous hitter, is really solid at Minnesota. All Big Ten and looks to add to his resume in the Cape. The 3-2, a called strike 3 at the bottom of the zone. Second K for Borberg. And for the second straight inning, he retires the first 2 batters. Campbell Smithwick will make now his Bourne debut. Catcher out of Old Miss. Grew up in Oxford, Mississippi, so not a far trip from home to his university. This one a much farther trip up to Cape Cod. Spent a year at Chatham last year. As he rockets one left side, it will just land foul by a few feet. So a little revenge game for both sides, you could say.
Spoke to Campbell about that before the game. Said he's very excited to take on his old team, even though there aren't many returners. No returners in the coaching staff or
Right.
the dugout. Some of the trainers and board members are here, and that's nice to see them.
Essentially a whole new team with the same name. Here's the 0-1. He was swinging early. Swings again, pops it up foul, out of play. Has got that torpedo bat we've heard so much about. Will be interesting to see how it may affect these Cape players. The 0-2 from Borberg. Cut on and missed by Smithwick. High in the zone. The changeup gets him swinging. And a 0-0 ball game as we head to the top of the third.
Are you ready to dominate the diamond and pitch like a pro with Cape's own Keith Bildo? Join us at the Capeplex, where champions are made. Don't just play the game, own it. Visit the Capeplex today and unleash your full potential. Located at 6 Forest Park Drive in Bourne. Find us on Facebook or at thek-plex.com. Elevate your game at the Capeplex.
Duncan Lewis and Travis Sanders will be up for their first time in the bottom of the Chatham lineup. Then we go back to the top when we return here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network on Cape League TV. Back on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network on Cape League TV. Devon, Jarvis, and Adam Gotkin with you here for the top of the third inning. It's the 8 and 9 batters for Chatham. And then we're going back to the top of the order for Ethan Mendoza. But for now, Duncan Matthews will come out to play for the first time out of South Alabama. The junior going into his senior season next year is showing for the first time today. Petty done a great job so far. Here's the first offering. Curveball, top of the zone, in there for a called strike one.
If you're going to give a player comp for this guy at the plate, Matthews, it's got to be Alejandro Kirk, right?
And you got to think so.
Of course, the very small catcher for the Toronto Blue Jays. Matthews 5'9" behind the plate.
Yeah, built like smaller guy than you would expect. Here's the 1-1 from Petty. Fastball, high chopper. LeBron fielding in. The open forehand grab won't be good enough. It gets past his glove. Only one base for Matthews, but an error against Justin LeBron.
I'm intrigued to see how that's going to be scored. I think you could go either hit or error. It's tough because it was hit kind of softly, so LeBron really had to race in, but they are going to give him the E6 on it. Tough play, but he probably made it look possible just with his speed and range. A lot of other shortstops wouldn't even make that play.
Travis Sanders next up out of Baylor. First pitch, a called strike one. Petty's been doing a good job at getting ahead in the count early. Takes a deep breath and sets his footing on the rubber once again. Gazes over at first for Matthews. Now from the stretch comes home. Breaking ball, top of the zone, another called strike. Saw 4 batters in the first inning, 3 in the next. And Travis Sanders here will look to capitalize on this base runner. The 0-2 out into right center field, chasing after it is Hughes. He makes the grab, holds the runner at first, and tosses it back into Justin LeBron with his feet on second base. Another batter down in the first of the inning.
Petty's done a great job of not allowing any real hard contact. Even that, it was timed up pretty well by Sanders, but there's just so much spin from Petty. It's so hard to get the full barrel on it.
It stayed in the air for a while, and, you know, most balls hit right in that gap, can drop. Hughes was able to leisurely get himself over under the ball and make the grab. It didn't seem like a problem at all. Back to the top of the order for Ethan Mendoza. Got on with a walk as we look over to first. A check over from Petty to keep Matthews honest. He'll place the tag late. We'll go back to the mound for the first offering against Mendoza. Mendoza out of Texas stands at 5'10", a smaller team, Chatham, it seems. The 0 just inside. Ball called, and Mendoza looking for a sign call at third base. Petty leans in for the pitch and fires. Right side of the infield, gets through the gap, fielded by Hughes. Going toward second is Matthews. He'll not take any extra bases. Now runners on 1 and 2 for the A's.
That's again, Chatham is timing up Petty pretty well. Decent contacts. They're not really getting too much on it, so a lot of singles, but still, there's definitely no trouble in timing and getting at least decent contact here for the Anglers early on.
Yeah, not for the majority of these batters. The 3 and 4 batter, Ford and Hanley, put down by strikeout, but other than that, it's been putouts. First offering against Lane, called strike one. Petty going to look at his left wrist for the pitch comp. He's got it and gets set. Runners on 1 and 2. He'll peer at second base. Now come home for the pitch. Well located, but not called. Just high and inside.
I don't think you can understate just how important it is for Chatham to try and bring a run home here. 2 on with 1 out. You're now 12 innings into the season, still without a run. This is the chance to get one.
Yeah, Chatham still looking for their first run of this season. The 1-1 pitch from Petty. Fastball just low. These pitches are close, but Petty's not getting the calls.
Definitely seems like a bit of a tight strike zone so far.
On the back and inner part of the plate is Lane. Granted out to short in his first time. The 2-1. Just inside. Petty, it seems for the first time today, having a little bit of trouble locating the zone. Got ahead against a lot of these batters early, including a first pitch strike against Lane. Now 3 consecutive balls. From the stretch, he'll fire. Late to it was Lane. He'll foul it back into the screen behind home plate.
Just a massive pitch coming up. Either bases loaded or you get that second out.
You want to draw that contact to the infield or put him away with a strikeout. You got the double play to end the inning. We'll see how it goes. Petty, a full count. From the stretch, he looks at second and comes home. That one in the dirt and inside. No doubt about that pitch. Lane will take his base.
Now you've got the most dangerous hitter on this Anglers roster coming to the plate with the bases loaded. Henry Ford hit a double yesterday. This is a guy who is draft eligible this year, expected to be picked pretty early on.
Yeah, the number 73 prospect in the draft. First offering, a curveball chopped down on home plate. It will be foul.
There's just so many things that impress you about Ford. The first thing that jumps off the page, though, is he's got the size. 6'5", 225. He can play anywhere.
Spent his last season at Virginia. The 0-1. Fastball. Pulls it low and outside. Just had a little bit too much on it. Now you got to worry about a guy like Ford. Struck him out in the first inning. But he has that power. The 1-1. Another one pulled out of the strike zone. 2-1.
We saw Josh Gunther walk home a run in the first inning yesterday for Bourne. You don't want to do that twice in the first 2 games.
With only 1 out, too, this inning could become big. 2-1 pitch. Catches the inner part of the zone. Almost a sympathy call there. That could have been either way. We've seen that pitch before called a ball.
Devon, we saw yesterday, just 1 big inning was the difference. A 6th spot in the first for Harwich, and they didn't need any more. Big innings win you games.
This one's shaping up to be similar. 2-2. That one comes by. Thinking about it from third was Duncan Matthews. Gets past the catcher in Smithwick, but there's a nice little luxury for these defenses at Dorn Park. There's a rock wall at the back of the backstop where a pass ball or wild pitch could come right back to home plate in an instant. And that's what happens there. Holds the runner at third. Duncan Matthews wanted to do it, but couldn't.
Yeah, he was lucky he didn't start running home. A lot of guys just dart right away.
Here's the payoff. In the dirt. And that will be the first run of the season for the Chatham Anglers. On a walk, Zane Petty couldn't put the batter away, and now 2 consecutive walks to score the first run.
Now batting number 34, Jake Henry.
That's just not clean baseball. And Scott Landers, manager for Bourne, is going to head out onto the mound to talk things over with Petty because he seems to have lost his control here. 2 walks in this inning, back-to-back walks. Landers also the pitching coach in the dugout, so he'll have a lot of meetings where he's not polling the guy, but just telling this young pitcher Petty, calm down, because you got to find the zone here. Walks are killer.
He seemed to have full command of the zone at the start of this inning. But it was that error by Justin LeBron at the start that kind of set things loose a little bit. Here's the first offering against Hanley. Fouled right back into the screen. Almost caught Adam and I if there was no protection.
That would have been right at me. I think I had.
You ready?
Might have been more of like an Odell type catch, hand over the head, but I think I could have had it.
I think so too. I hope we get at least one souvenir this year.
we've got a chance.
Here's the 0-1. Good pick by Smithwick behind home plate. It catches some dirt and will even up the count at 1-1. Only one out and the bases loaded. Chatham has the lead 1-0 after they just walked a run in. Petty, rather. From the windup with bases loaded, he fires. A well-placed ball on the outer edge of the strike zone against the lefty. Hanley watches it by for a called strike 2. Still only one out on the board, and the Braves in a tough spot here. Again from the windup. Here's Petty. He fires. Top of the zone, called strike 3. 2 times up for Hanley. 2 times going down, looking. A huge strikeout for Petty that brings this to a much different situation. Now force out anywhere, and you can limit it to just a 1-run inning. Here's the first offering. In the dirt, good stop by Smithwick once again. It's Daniel Jackson this time. Led off the second inning and only saw 1 pitch there where he popped it out to first base. This time, he'll see 1 pitch in the dirt. 1 ball, no strikes. Here it is. Inner edge of the zone, a called strike 1. Daniel Jackson out of Georgia, grew up in the state and was SoCon Freshman of the Year when he was at Wofford, second team all SoCon. The 1-1 pitch, this is the zone low. In his sophomore season as a Bulldog, 48 games, batted .218, but 14 homers, not too shabby. The 2-1. Low, a half swing by Jackson, but it didn't matter. Called strike 2, bottom of the zone. In the base path, it's Mendoza at third, Lane at second, Ford at first. The 2-2. Breaking ball lifted high, shallow right field. Back on it is Doolin. Waved off by Hughes. He steps in, makes the grab, and ends the inning in kind of a save, Adam, you could say, to limit this Angler inning to just 1 run. Had the bases loaded with 1 out. I'd take that.
Limiting. That's the name of the game. Limit, limit, limit. And that's exactly what Zane Petty just did.
Well, the Braves will see the bottom of their order and then go back to the top. We'll send it to a short break here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network on Cape League TV. Stay with us.
Been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Back on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network, it's Chatham and Bourne. It was a one-run top of the third inning for Chatham. Zane Petty walked Duncan Matthews, the catcher, in his last 90 feet. Now it's Bourne's turn. A quick first swing pitch, and Cal Sefcik gets his first hit as a member of the Bourne Braves. Not a bad debut.
That's it. Start things off. First ever pitch of your Bourne career, and you rocket a ball into right field. No better way to get things going.
First hit of the day for the Braves. They've been needing that, and after a big inning of limitation at the top of the third, maybe they can respond with a run of their own. Sefcik on first, and Caden Doolin in the righty's batter's box for his debut as a member of Bourne. As a beautiful bat, hot pink on the lower half, and the barrel is black. Here's the 0-1 pitch from the stretch. Warburg gets the called strike on the breaking ball. It's 0-2 with no outs. Runner on first is Sefcik. And Doolin comes from Pitt. Quite a nice guy when we've been able to chat to him. Spent his season in the NECBL in North Adams. As a called strike 3 gets in there on the outer edge of the zone. And he'll go back to the dugout, not loving the call. Adam, you were in North Adams.
I was. Sounds like Caden and I had pretty similar experiences there.
I won't ask. Back to the top of the order, it's John LeGrand. Special player, really fast, has got the mentality that you want. I talked to him earlier today. He's just like, going to do all I can to improve myself. It's what a coach loves to hear. Takes the first pitch in for a ball, just off the outer edge. Warburg here is well into his third inning now. Be interesting to see how he can last. From the stretch, the 1-0. Opposite field hit for LeGrand. That one drops just outside of the glove of Daniel Jackson. Probably could have had it, not today. And runners on 1 and 2 for Bourne.
Definitely a bit of an awkward play and left for Jackson. And an error yesterday. That is scored as a hit, but as you said, he probably could have had it. Kind of died down towards the end as it started to head towards the ground, took a bit of a nosedive, and that's why Jackson couldn't bring it in. Also a bit of a bad jump. It's one he's going to wish he had back.
Next is Justin LeBron. Put in one of the bigger situations he's seen in these last 2 games. Runners on 1 and 2 with 1 out. Warburg appears at second, comes home. Breaking ball just inside for ball number 1.
LeBron's really got to do something here. He's been up with runners on multiple times this season, and he's 0 for 6.
He's going to need it. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Warburg from the stretch. In the dirt, going for third is Sefcik. Throws there and in time, but errant. Now coming home is Sefcik. It'll be a play at the plate. Never mind, no throw from Jackson. LeGrand in the third, and the run scores for Bourne. A huge way to capitalize on the wild pitch. And Bourne, with their swift base runners and aggressive base running, are tied at 1 with Chatham.
At first, I was thinking, oh, maybe don't go home with how hard or don't go to third with how hard the backstop is. But that's just a really rough throw from Matthews into third. That's why sometimes you just got to pocket it. Not worth it.
Still at home is LeBron. This one, he rockets out in the left field. His first hit as a Brave is an RBI. LeGrand trots 90 feet home, and the Braves are up 2-1.
That's how you get your first hit. How about it, Justin LeBron? RBI single, first lead of the season for Bourne. That's great response. After giving up that 1 run in the top of the third to come back and score 2 of your own. We saw this team do that yesterday. They gave up 6 in the first, and they clawed their way back. Took a little bit too long. This time, right away, respond and get a run on the board. Get 2 runs on the board, as a matter of fact.
Well, Adam, you talked about how big of an at-bat this was for LeBron. He talked about pregame shaking off that rust, how each at-bat was getting easier. He shows it right there. Next up, Cade Lewis. The lefty putting it oppo. This one will tail just foul.
These Bourne hitters are really getting a hold of Warburg right now, especially hitting it opposite field and hitting it down that left field line. It seems like Matthews behind the plate has been setting up outside a lot, and the Bourne hitters are ready to send the ball where it comes from and go the other way, especially these left-handed hitters.
Lewis out of Wake Forest went to first with a walk in the first inning. Here's the 0-1. LeBron on first base. He's going to steal. Pitch he takes, a called strike. Throw at second. Just there in time. Catches the left hand of Justin LeBron. And his first time in the base path is short-lived.
Well, that's what you just call unlucky. Gets the steal sign, and it happens to be a perfect fastball right down the middle where Matthews can already start popping up before the ball's in his glove.
Perfect execution by Matthews behind the dish. A well-placed throw. Here's the 0-2 against Lewis. Chops it middle of the infield, charging in his lane. Open hand fields, throws to first in time, and Hanley gets the out. Third member of our team in Ariel Tamir-Pinsky standing by for just a moment. And Ariel, what do you have?
Thanks, Devon. Zane Petty, the Braves' starting pitcher tonight, going into his senior year at Texas Tech, was actually drafted by the Milwaukee Brewers in the 5th round of the 2022 MLB draft. He decided to forego that draft. And ever since, he's had a bit of a hard time with Texas Tech, recording a 6.11 ERA in just 27 collegiate starts. I was able to catch up with him a little bit before tonight's game. He said it's a dream come true to be able to play on the Cape, to get better. He's really trying to focus on his mechanics. He said he wants to be electric on the mound. He said pitching coach Kevin Curtin has already been helping him try to be more present, loosen up, and just have fun out there. Devon?
Yeah, Zane Petty's been really solid so far. Thank you so much, Ariel. And it's been really interesting to see how he can do. Got out of a deep jam in the third. And now he'll come out to hopefully preserve this Brave lead. I'll hand off my play-by-play duties over now to my partner and friend Adam Gotkin. Adam, take it away.
Devin, thanks so much. Great work through the first 3 innings. Bourne leads 2-1, a third of the way through this game. And as you said, Zane Petty back out onto the mound, the right-hander. He's looked pretty solid so far. A little bit shaky in the last inning. Top of the third, walked 2, including walking Henry Ford with the bases loaded. But we'll see what he can do here. Due up next in this Chatham order, 6, 7, 8, Jackson Freeman, Cole Johnson, and Duncan Matthews. Freeman walking in towards the box. Hit a single his first time up today, back in the second. Petty gets the ball from catcher Smithwick and heads out onto the mound, ready to get things going here in the fourth.
Really good response by Bourne in the bottom of the third there. And see if Chatham can give a response of their own.
From the line, first pitch. Fastball in for a strike, up and outside, and the count 0-1.
See a good routine from Petty before every pitch. Takes a deep breath, waits for his pitch come, and doesn't rush things. He takes his time.
The 0-1. Just inside on a fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Freeman comes from Northwestern. Spent last summer in the California Collegiate League. Played pretty well, hit 277. 1-1, swing and a miss on a looping breaking ball, 1-2. Freeman has been about a 250 to 270 hitter basically anywhere he's gone. Was a part of the all-freshman team at Northwestern back in 2024. One of the team's top hitters this past season. The 1-2. Another looper, this time high. Count 2-2. Bourne up 2-1 after scoring both of its runs in the bottom of the third. Chatham scored its lone run in the top of the third. We're here in the top of the fourth. 2-2. Upstairs, went with a changeup, and it just got away from Petty. The count full.
We saw in that first, I would say, 2 1/3 innings, his command of the strike zone really solid. This past inning, not as much.
Payoff pitch. Inside, ball 4 on the fastball. Petty got ahead in the count, but just loses it there. And that is already the 4th walk he's given up today.
I mean, he walked one to score.
Number 10, Cole Johnson.
So it's a real lack of control compared to maybe just trying to get the batter to chase. It's something he's going to have to look into and focus on fixing.
Walks were never really an issue this past season for Petty. Just 28 and 62 and a third for Texas Tech. But 4 here to get his Cape League career going. It brings Cole Johnson to the plate with the runner on first. His first pitch, swing and a miss on a fastball, 0-1. Johnson grounded out into a inning-ending 6-4-3 double play his last time up in the 2nd. Now with his squad down by 1 in the top of the 4th, back up with the runner on. The 0-1, fouled off. A bouncer towards the first base dugout, occupied by the visiting Anglers. The count 0-2. Once again, like to apologize for some of the technical difficulties on this broadcast. We hope to have our video back for our next home game. We'll keep you all updated on our social media channels. Petty from the stretch, the 0-2. Hit hard down the right field line and off the netting. Bounces back towards the field of play as the first base umpire runs after it. Don Giramo tosses it out of play. Sam Rinn calling balls and strikes behind home plate today. Robert McHugh at third base and second, rotating back and forth. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. A nasty off-speed pitch, almost in the dirt. Had Johnson looking silly, and that's out number 1 of the top of the 4th.
25, Duncan Matthews.
Been doing a really solid job with his pitch variety. We've seen the fastballs, but a lot of off-speed and breaking balls in there too. He's got that breaking ball really working so far.
Brings up the catcher, Duncan Matthews. Reached on an error, then scored in the last inning. First pitch, in for a strike outside part of the plate, 0-1. Matthews also was the one who had the error in the field for Chatham that led to Bourne's first run. Bravo's up by 1 here in the top of the 4th. Freeman takes a 2-step lead off of first base, extends it by 1. The 0-1, runner going, swing and a miss, throw into second from Swithmick in time. The tag is applied, and out is the call. Perfect from Campbell Smithwick on the fastball home from Zane Petty, and that is out number 2, and the count 0-2.
Adam, he beat him by a mile too. Doolin, who placed the tag, was waiting there for like 3 seconds. Probably could have checked his watch for time, maybe grabbed a sip of water before he placed the tag.
It wasn't like Freeman got a horrible jump too. He was off pretty early, just a laser of a throw. The 0-2 to get out of the inning. Hit hard towards first base, and it bounces under the glove of Holcomb into shallow right field, tripping Matthews. He finally stands up and stops a few feet after first base. Overall, wild play there, but it'll end up being just an E3 on Holcomb. Didn't get a great read on it, and Matthews standing at first base.
Yeah, it was pretty awkward. It almost seemed like he had the read at first, then brought his glove back to center, and while moving his glove back out, the ball hit off of it and was an error. Not one that should get by, but Bourne still able to salvage this inning and hopefully get out of it.
So Duncan Matthews has reached twice today, twice on errors, and in each of the last 2 innings. It brings Travis Sanders to the plate. First pitch in for a strike at the knees, 0-1.
Every inning that has had an error in it so far for Bourne has been one where the opponent has scored.
Sanders playing third base, flew out to right his first time up. Petty comes set, glove at the numbers, looks in, gets a sign, kicks and deals. In for a strike, another beautiful off-speed outside part of the plate. The count 0-2 and a chance for Petty to get out of the inning again.
That timing that Chatham had earlier just seems to be gone. They don't have any read on these pitches right now. Seems like Petty's switched something up.
The right-hander kicks and deals. Just low and outside, went back to the off-speed. 1-2. Petty approaching 70 pitches. This next one will be number 70 of the outing. A couple guys starting to stretch in both bullpens. The 1-2. Outside fastball, 2-2.
You know, his breaking ball's working so well, too, because he's getting ahead in these counts and forcing the Angler players to chase. They don't have a choice.
Sanders awaits the 2-2. Inside. That moves the count full. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here in the top of the 4th inning. Braves lead the Anglers 2-1. Duncan Matthews standing on first after reaching on the E3. Sanders, the Baylor Bear, looking to bring him home. Petty comes set. First base side of the rubber. Here's the pitch. Popped up. Right field. Hughes moving back and over towards the foul line. He looks up, makes the catch before running into the fence for out number 3. So a leadoff walk and a 2-out error, but Zane Petty works his way out of it, and that does it for the top of the 4th inning. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network on Cape League TV.
If you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
And we're into the bottom of the 4th here from Dorn Park. Once again, apologize for the technical difficulties today. Unfortunately, we're just audio only, but we will hope to have video soon. Adam Gotkin, Devon, Jarvis with you. Bourne leads Chatham 2-1. Braden Holcomb to lead things off. The number 4 hitter for the Bravos struck out swinging to end the 1st. He faces Ryan Borberg back out for his 4th inning, the Chatham starter. The right-hander looks in. Gets his sign, comes into the wind, first pitch. In for a strike on a slider, 0-1. Holcomb, imposing figure in the box. 6'5", 240 pounds. The right-hander stands in. Bat right next to his right ear, the 0-1. Popped up, foul down the first base side. And the count 0-2. Holcomb 1 for 6 to start this season with 3 strikeouts. A lot of the times last summer, he was very streaky, but ended up hitting .333. Was an all-star for Bourne.
Big part of that championship run he talked about today, just getting the rust off. It seems to be the same with all these guys, and no surprise.
Into the wind, here comes the 0-2. Popped up, first base side, out of play over the netting and into the crowd. Few kids running after it. A really, really solid turnout from the Bourne faithful here on opening day. Both the first base and third base sides pretty full with fans all bundled up in sweatshirts. Definitely not summer weather. It's chilly up here.
Yeah, it is. Don't forget to mention the first graders who serenaded us with the national anthem before the game, too.
Oh, they were great. The 0-2. Popped up again. Foul out of play down the first base line. Holcomb at first base today. We saw him in right field yesterday. He also can play third. One of the more versatile fielders, and he's got a really good bat. Just trying to hone things here on the Cape, his second season in this league. His team with a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the fourth. Count still 0-2. Borberg into the line, the kick and the pitch. Just low on a slider. Holcomb extended his front left leg, thought for a second that he was going to swing, and then held back. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Borberg with his flat brim cap looks in, kicks and deals. It's hit up the middle. That gets down for a base hit. A nice line drive from Holcomb. It's a single to start off this bottom of the fourth. And Bourne's offense continues to get going here in these middle innings.
Perfect contact at that launch angle. Rocket it right back up the middle, and a great way to get started and put Logan Hughes in position to capitalize with runners in scoring position. Again, the only player in the Cape League right now with a home run on their stat sheet.
Hit it yesterday in the top of the 9th inning, but we'll have to wait for Hughes to take any swings. A pitching change. Actually, no, just a mound visit right now. No pitching change, at least yet. Hasn't been any point to the bullpen, but Hughes stands in as he will wait. As we said, had a great day yesterday. Hit the lone home run in the league. Also had a double. And so, yes, no pitching change as Hughes steps into the box, and we are ready to get back underway here in the bottom of the fourth inning with Bourne up 2-1 and a runner on first base, no outs.
Ethan Calder getting ready in the A's bullpen, from Baylor.
Hughes awaits the first pitch, and it's a fastball outside. 1-0 to get us going. Borberg kicks and deals. Low on a slider. 2-0. Holcomb at first has a lot of speed. Much more than you'd think just looking at his frame. Had a stolen base yesterday. Borberg, the right-hander, first base side of the rubber, comes set. The 2-0. Fastball just catches the upper part of the plate. 2-1.
Hughes, a patient hitter here. Attacked early when he got that home run yesterday, but when he puts bat to ball, it's really dangerous. A guy with speed like Holcomb could score.
Fouled back, and the count 2-2. Hughes tried to make contact there on the hit and run, something that we see Scotlanders employ quite often.
Adam, good to see our microphone has stayed clean so far this game.
Yeah, I got hit 3 or 4 times yesterday. All good so far. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here it comes. Outside. Another fastball, and the count runs full. 3-2. Here in the bottom of the fourth. The left-hander Hughes stands in the box. The righty on the mound, Borberg, kicks and deals. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hughes got a little tip of it, actually, but either way, same result. That is strikeout number 5 of the outing for Ryan Borberg, and out number 1 in the bottom of the fourth.
Borberg pretty efficient so far. 52 pitches to this point. What you'd like to see for Chatham, even though they've got some action in the bullpen, he's been living.
Weber-Neal stands in. First pitch. Fouled back to the netting, 0-1. Neal's struck out looking his last time up. That was the second strikeout of the day for Borberg back in the second. The right-hander at a Dallas Baptist at the belt, the 0-1. Bouncer third base side, foul. Scott Landers, the Bravos head coach and third base coach, watches it roll past him and down the left field line, where there are a number of fans seated in both the elevated section and down at field level as you get closer towards the Braves bullpen out in left field. 0-2 the count. Neal's waving his hands back and forth. The 0-2. Hit hard into left field. That's down. A base hit. Holcomb stops at second. And once again, Bourne really swinging the bat well right now. That's hit number 5 in these last 2 innings.
And all of these strong contact line drives.
All singles.
Yep. I mean, you're not getting extra bases, but you're putting bat on ball in a great way.
And there is the point to the bullpen as Dennis Cook makes his way out of the dugout. And we will have our first pitching change of the day. So Ryan Borberg's day is done. We'll tell you all about the new pitcher when we come back. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network on Cape League TV.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Welcome back to Doran Park. Bourne leads Chatham 2-1. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning and a pitching change. Ethan Calder, the left-hander out of Baylor, comes in for Ryan Borberg. His day done after 3 1/3 innings. The new man on the mound, Calder, will face Campbell Smithwick, Bourne's catcher. Runners on first and second and 1 out. And Calder from Baylor was a full-time starter this past season, led the Bears in innings with 73, but comes in out of the bullpen here. Was a bullpen arm a couple years ago. Honorable mention all Big 12 as a relief pitcher. And he faces the left-handed hitting Smithwick to get things going. 2-1, first pitch. Just low, fastball. Count 1-0. Smithwick struck out swinging to end the second inning his first time up. Was one of the more consistent players for Chatham all of last season. Going to do damage against his old team. 1-0, bounced foul down the first base line. Off the fence and back in towards the field of play. Borberg, the starting pitcher, is the man who has to run out and go pick it up. Calder steps on the rubber. Occupying the third base side, he looks in with his hand behind his back, now puts ball into glove right at the belt. A look back to second, the 1-1 in the dirt. Nice block, though, from Matthews. Keep the runners at bay. That is Holcomb at second, Neal's at first. But a count now of 2 balls and 1 strike. Calder comes set. Looks back to second. Big lead from Holcomb. 2-1. Fastball in for a strike outside part of the plate. There is a pinch hitter on deck right now for Bourne. Noah Franco standing in the spot that would be Cal Sefcik's. We'll see what Calder can do here against Smithwick. The kick in the 2-2. In the dirt, nice block from Matthews. Put his glove right between his legs. But the count runs full. 3-2, 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bourne up 2-1, a chance to extend the lead. 5 hits for the Bravos today, all coming in the last 2 innings. 3 balls, 2 strikes. The kick and the pitch. Low ball 4. Smithwick works a walk, and that loads the bases for a man now making his Braves debut. It's Noah Franco. The left-handed hitter out of TCU just finished up his true freshman year and had really, to put it lightly, a spectacular season as a two-way, but especially as a hitter. In 56 games, hit .313 and was named to the Big 12 first team. Bases loaded. First pitch is hit high and hard down the left field line, tailing out of play and out towards the brand new merchandise store, which is in the parking lot in left field.
I'm repping some right now. Got a new nice quarter zip.
It all looks great. Go check it out. Left field trailer. No longer under the press box. Bases loaded. 1 out. Bottom of the 4th. The 0-1. Hit in the air towards left center field. That'll score at least 1 run. The center fielder Ford makes the catch. Holcomb on his way home, and he does score. The ball bounces away, though, from the third baseman Sanders. Niels at second decided to go back, but either way, the play ends as a sacrifice fly and a run scored for the Bravos. It's 3-1 here in the bottom of the 4th.
Exactly what you want from a debut. Noah Franco doing his job. He's got that pop. So maybe you're thinking he could put it over the wall, but no, I don't think you could ask for much more than that.
Definitely not. RBI to get his Braves career going. That brings Caden Doolin to the plate. He went down looking his first time up. Runner still on first and second, 2 outs. First pitch fouled back. Off the netting, 0-1. As you said, Doolin spent last season with the North Adams Steeplecats in the NECBL. Struggled a little bit, but had a really good season for the Pitt Panthers this past year. Was one of the top infielders in the ACC. 0-1, Doolin watches it in for a ball. Just below the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Niels at second, the designated hitter. Usually a catcher, not a guy with too much speed. Behind him at first, Campbell Smithwick, another catcher. 1-1. Ground ball, right side, hit slowly. Backhanded by Hanley. He throws to first, and the pitcher covering Calder gets there in time. That's a 3-1 ground out to end the bottom of the 4th inning, but not before the Bravos get another run in on the Franco sacrifice fly that brought home Braden Holcomb. It's Bourne 3, Chatham 1. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
You can make any bat feel lighter by adding a velo puck knob. Instead of having to go get a whole entirely new bat, you can simply add the puck to it. Players can use this with any bat. It's basically going to shift the weight of the bat a little bit more towards the hands. Players are able to hit the ball a lot harder just by simply adding the puck on.
We're into the 5th inning from Doran Park. Adam Gotkin and Devon Jarvis with you here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. We'll also be joined in a little bit by our sideline reporter, Ariel Tamir-Pinsky. Once again, we'd like to apologize for the technical difficulties today. Unfortunately, we had some issues with the wiring with our video broadcast, so we just are stuck with the radio, but we'll try and get the video for our next home game. For now, you'll just have to listen to Devon and I's voices. Zane Petty back out onto the mound for inning number 5. Bourne starter getting some length here, and he will face off the top of the order. Mendoza swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. The count 0-1.
A lengthy outing both by pitches and innings. Got some action in the bullpen, too. It will be Glenn Shorey out of Vanderbilt coming off his freshman season, but now well into 70 pitches here for Petty.
0-1 in the dirt. Nice block by Smithwick. Didn't really matter with no one on, but the count now 1-1. Bourne's defense playing straight up with the right-handed hitting Mendoza at the plate. Home plate umpire brushes off the plate and now takes his steps back behind the catcher, Smithwick. Very small thing, Devon, but it is really bothering me. The home plate umpire wearing a baby blue top while the first and third base umpires are wearing black. I feel like they should all be coordinated, and the fact that they're not is frustrating me.
You know, I was just distracted about how satisfying brushing off home plate was.
A 1-1 upstairs on a fastball, 2-1. It does seem like a really nice thing to do. It's perfect, so those brushes get all the dirt off.
Yeah, no,
They're
they do.
Impressive.
I think it's probably like a top 3 thing you get to do as an umpire, like a hard strike 3 call.
2-1, just low, 3-1.
Cleaning off the plate. Maybe a called safe play at home. I think it's up
I'm going to give you an out at home, a punch out over a safe call. It seems more fun. 3-1 from the wind. Got him looking upstairs, and that moves to 3-2. Confused me for a second, confused Mendoza too. He took a step over home plate towards first base, but now has to retreat into the right-handed batter's box. The righty on the mound, Petty looks into the wind. Here it comes. Got him, swinging on and off speed. Mendoza was way out in front of it. Strike 3 and out number 1 at the top of the 5th.
Again, that pitch variation is just troubling right now for the A's. They don't have any answers. They were able to time up a lot of these breaking balls and off speeds earlier. Not for the last 2 innings or so, and it's showing. Petty doing a great job at pulling the string on these changeups.
First pitch to Isaiah Lane is bounced off the plate and off the bat of Lane, a foul ball. Lane, the shortstop, 0 for 1 today with the walk, was stranded at second his last time up. Petty comes into the wind. Here's the pitch. Off speed, catches the zone, lower part of the plate. Lower part of the zone, right part of the plate. The count 0-2. Glenn Shorey still getting loose in the Bourne bullpen. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Petty, and it's swung on and missed, strike 3. Back-to-back Ks to get us going here in the top of the 5th. That's now 6 on the day for Petty. And he's an out away from being done with 5. If you can finish 5 innings here on the Cape, that's all you can ever ask for from a starting pitcher.
And he's given Scott Landers multiple reasons to keep him in this game, too. I mean, he's about at 80 pitches right now. You don't want to keep him in for much longer if he lets up some hits or walks, but the way he's playing.
First pitch to Henry Ford, low and inside on a fastball, and the count 1-0.
You like everything about it, Adam, I'd say.
No doubt. Ford 0 for 1 today. Did walk with the bases loaded, though, in the 3rd, so he has an RBI to his name. 1-0. Off speed, outside. And it's 2-0. Defensively, Bourne playing pretty straight up against Ford. LeGrand in center playing a little bit in. However, he always plays in. A player who feels a lot more comfortable tracking back than forward, so give himself a little bit of cushion. Into the wind, here comes the 2-0. Hit in the air towards center, that's right at LeGrand as he goes down to one knee to field it. That's a single up the middle for Henry Ford with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, and his team down by 2.
Ford's a tough guy to go against in this position. Late into your game, Petty's just going to have to do what he's been doing quite a bit and make it tougher for Ford. Walked him last time he sought to drive in a run. The last thing you want right now is to start a rally as Scott Landers is going to walk to the mound from the dugout.
Jake Hanley awaits in the left-handed hitter batter's box, but they'll have to wait even longer as that'll do it for the right-hander Zane Petty. Landers points to the bullpen, and Glenn Shorey will make his way out onto the mound. We'll tell you all about the left-hander from Vanderbilt when we come back. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
To dig, lift, move, grade, clear, or cut, pump, weld, clean, light, and just about anything else. Dial up the rental source for the newest and the most reliable equipment in New England. Staffed with equipment and construction experts. Milton Rents, your local source.
The new pitcher into the game for Bourne, Glenn Shorey, a left-hander out of Vanderbilt, native of Nashville, Tennessee, just finished up his freshman year at his hometown school, and a pretty solid season, 14 outings, a 5.27 ERA. But he comes in with a little bit of traffic on the base paths with Henry Ford standing at first, 2 outs. His team up 3-1 in the top of the 5th. Jake Hanley steps to the plate next. The left-handed hitter out of the Big Ten, just finished up his freshman season at Indiana and was the conference freshman of the year. Has had a very frustrating start to his time out here on the Cape, however. He struck out looking twice earlier in the game, and he struck out 4 times in 6 plate appearances over 2 games. Lefty-lefty matchup here with 2 gone. Shorey steps onto the mound, looks at his right wrist with his glove on as the pitch comm device, gets the sign, looks over to first, kicks and deals, and misses upstairs on an off speed. They count 1-0.
Interesting release here too, kind of 45 degrees outside. Not quite sidearm, not quite orthodox. They're going to be tough for these batters.
1-0, hit high in the air towards left field. Ranging over Franco, he dives and he can't make the catch. That bounces all the way into the corner. Rounding third and on his way home is Ford. Into third is Hanley. He's in with a head-first dive, and it's a RBI triple for Jake Hanley. And it's a 1-1 ball game. Bourne 3, Chatham 2 here in the top of the 5th.
An excellent hit. Amazing base running by Henry Ford, and just a tough ball to give up. Franco in left field didn't really have a shot on it if he wanted it. Had a little bit of a late jump, but even with the dive, was still a few feet away.
First ball hit his way, and a really tough one.
Welcome to the Cape League, Franco.
First pitch is fouled back to Daniel Jackson. He's 0 for 2 today. Got the tying runner 90 feet away. Shorey gonna have to get that last hit out of his mind. The 0-1. In for a strike. Nice fastball inside part of the plate. 0-2. Shorey can get out of this top of the 5th here with his team still up by 1. The lefty looks at his right wrist, gets his sign, comes set at the belt. The pitch, outside, fastball.
Smithwick playing a great game behind the plate, too. Got to give credit there. First time in here for Bourne. Hasn't let much past him.
Shorey shakes off a few signs. Shakes off another. Pitch clock down to 4, down to 3. And time called. He'll step off. That's one of the things about the pitch clock in college.
Yeah, I mean,
the catcher can just call time, right? And it doesn't matter.
Only 13.2 innings as a Commodore this past year. So not a ton of time with experience with the pitch clock, but yeah, it's something to pay closer to attention to.
1-2 upstairs. Count moves even, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Jackson still searching for his first hit of the summer, 0 for 5. He's got the tying runner 90 feet away in Jake Hanley. Shorey at the belt, the 2-2. Got him looking. Inside part of the plate fastball. Jackson didn't even think about swinging as Glenn Shorey struts his way back into the dugout with his team still up by 1 as we're into the middle of the 5th inning. We'll step aside. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network on Cape League TV. Time for the bottom of the 5th inning here at Dorn Park. It's Bourne 3, Chatham 2. Back out onto the mound, Ethan Calder came in relief in the middle of the 4th. Walked the first man he saw, forced a sac fly, and then got out of the inning on a ground out. He faces the top of the order, 1, 2, 3 here in the bottom of the 5th. John LeGrand will lead things off. He singled back in the 3rd and then came in to score. Rounded out the 2nd and the 1st. LeGrand, the left-handed leadoff hitter, digs into the box. The left-hander on the mound, Calder, looks in, puts ball to glove at the belt. First pitch to the bottom of the 5th, just inside, off speed, 1-0.
Now, of course, a much different build but LeGrand has kind of got a stance of Ohtani with a waggle, it seems.
Hands high, 1-0. In for a strike, middle part of the zone, 1-1.
He's really got him up there around his shoulder. But the way he compacts his swing, once he needs it to get going, is really fun to watch.
The 1-1. Hit hard down the left field line. Jackson moving towards the line, and he makes the catch. Hand over his head. Had to speed up a little bit at the last second to bring it in, but still pretty routine. And that's out number 1 at the bottom of the fifth.
Yeah, that ball was slicing a lot going from right to left. Jackson really wasn't ready for it. Made the adjustment, though, but it didn't look pretty.
Justin LeBron steps to the plate. Had an RBI single his last time up and then was caught trying to steal second. That single put Bourne up 2-1. They now lead 3-2. First pitch, just low on a fastball, 1-0. LeBron, the right-hander. Bit of an open stance. Wags his hands back and forth, sees the 1-0 and fouls it down the right field line. 1-1. Crowd still out and about here at Dorn Park. Really solid attendance on opening day. Fans in their sweatshirts and sweatpants. The 1-1. Ground ball, shortstop. Lane fields it, throws to first, and it's in time. Great cross-body, powerful throw to beat out LeBron. And that's out number 2, the bottom of the fifth.
Now batting from Wake Forest, number 23, Cade Lewis.
Brings up Cade Lewis, the third baseman for Bourne. He's 0 for 1 today. Did walk, though, back in the first. 1 for 5 on the season with 2 free passes. The left-handed hitting Lewis stands in the box. Awaits the pitch. Here it is. Change up in for a strike, 0-1. Lewis with a Wake Forest branded protective gear on his right shin. 0-1. Hit hard foul down the left field line, out of play. 0-2. Calder can get out of the inning here. Calder ready to go. He gets a reset pitch clock and comes set with 10 left to go. 0-2. Ground ball towards short again. Lane fields it backhand, throws sidearm to first, and it bounces away from Hanley. The catcher Matthews backed it up, so Lewis has to stop at first. But it's an error. Most likely going to be an E3. And that continues this bottom of the fifth.
Looked like an awkward defensive play overall, even from the start. Lane had a backhand, kind of tapped his glove and readjusted it. Just didn't look smooth, and of course, it wasn't smooth to finish either. Mainly probably a pick he should have had, and that one gets by when you wish it hadn't.
Both teams now with 2 errors. Bourne has 1 more hit and 1 more run than Chatham, though. 3-2 in the runs category, 5-4 in the hits category. Calder comes set, first pitch to Braden Holcomb, misses low, count 1-0. Holcomb hit a single to lead off the fourth. Later came in to score on a sacrifice fly. The big right-hander stands in. Calder set at the belt. The 1-0 will have to wait. He goes with a pickoff attempt towards first, but Lewis back in safe for the head first dive. Holcomb digs back in, taps his bat twice against the plate, and rests his bat on his right shoulder. The left-hander, Calder, kicks and deals. Holcomb watches it in for a ball. Fastball outside, 2-0.
Forget here, too, the fans were seeing a familiar face in Hulk. Got some cheering from the crowd. Big moment guy. Let's see if he can get on base once again.
The 2-0. Fouled back to the netting. 2-1. Chatham defensively and a bit of a shift to the left against Holcomb, the power hitting righty. third baseman Sanders playing close to the line. Very big gap on the right side of the infield with Hanley at first holding the runner. Anything to that right side would be a base hit. The second baseman Mendoza's playing almost close to behind the bat. Calder set. Here's the 2-1. Fouled off down the right field line, out of play and out of the ballpark. It's 2-2.
Holcomb looking over like he wants it. Said something to the dugout after he caught that foul ball. The more he settles into this at-bat, the same way Bourne got used to Borborg more, will be the same way that these Bourne hitters, and Holcomb specifically, will get better adjusted to what Calder's throwing at him.
Lewis at first. 2 gone here in the bottom of the 5th. Bourne up 3-2. 2-2 the count. Holcomb awaits, but he'll have to wait even longer. Another pickoff attempt. Back in standing up that time is Cade Lewis.
Almost a balk there. He started the windup, but a little bit of momentum came toward home plate before he threw over to first.
By the way, still waiting on that official score of whether it was a error on the shortstop or third baseman, as Holcomb ropes one in the air towards left field, but that's right at Jackson. He's only got to move a few steps to his left before making the catch. That had to be over 100 miles an hour off the bat. Either way, though, it is out number 3, and that does it for the 5th inning. Bourne strands a runner on first, no hits, 1 error. And that does it for the bottom of the 5th. 3-2 Bourne leads, but we won't head to break just yet. We will welcome in the third member of our broadcast crew, Ariel Tamir-Pinsky. Ariel, what do you got?
Thanks, Adam. Assistant coach Jeff Limoncelli just retired from being the head coach of the Horseheads High School baseball team in upstate New York. He capped off his 27-year career with winning the championship title for the first time since 1999. He won a program record of 437 games. Limoncelli will join the Braves for the first time this season, and I talked to him earlier today. He said winning that championship his last year with them was just outstanding. It was a storybook moment. He couldn't have asked for anything better, and he's excited to now be here, starting a new chapter, coaching at the collegiate level along Scott Landers, who he's known for a long time. Adam?
Ariel, thank you so much. We'll keep things here as we wait for the top of the 6th inning to get going. But a new member of the coaching staff and already a trophy just a couple days in. That's pretty cool, isn't it, Devon?
Yeah, not too bad. I think it's interesting, too, for a guy like Limoncelli, who's talking to him before today's game. And, just getting his background, he's heading to Mansfield to coach Division II baseball. But this experience for him is also a learning experience the same way it is for the players. He's learning from Coach Scott Landers and all these guys like Ed Blankmeyer who have been in this game for a long time. He said the biggest thing for him is recruiting, learning what players are attracted to, and how much of the Cape League is recruiting to, getting the players every single season to join your team and lead you to a championship. So he's here as a learner, maybe even more than a coach.
Top of the 6th inning, Bourne leads 3-2. Letting Shorey back out onto the mound. Came in the middle of the 5th. First pitch, in for a strike to Jackson Freeman, and the count 0-1.
Shorey hides that ball for a while, too. Almost keeps it behind the back. Doesn't give a lot of time for the hitter to watch it.
Left-hander deals in for a strike. Outside part of the plate with a sweeping off speed, and the count 0-2. Freeman has reached base both of his times up today. A walk and a single. He's caught trying to steal second, though, back in the 4th. Into the wind. Here's the 0-2. Popped up first base, or third base side, I should say, out of play and towards the concession stand. Almost hit the grill. Luckily, it's okay.
Yeah, definitely wouldn't want that. I've still got my free hamburger to cash in if I want it.
I remember last season there was a foul ball that went off a table as the 0-2 pitch is in for a strike. Fastball down the middle. Freeman knew it right away. And that is the second strikeout for
number 10,
Glenn Shorey.
Cole
But
Johnson.
as I was saying, more importantly than the game, I guess you could say, but foul balls last year at YD hit right off their table that was holding the donut burger making material. So all the donuts, it had glass on it, shattered everywhere. First pitch to this at-bat is fouled back. Cole Johnson down in the count 0-1. I remember it being just chaos at Red Bull Stadium.
Well, that's the most iconic part of their park, right?
Yeah, the donut
second
burger.
to the baseball team, second to the Red Sox.
0-1, bouncer towards the shortstop LeBron, fields it on a high hop, fires to first, and that's well in time for out number 2. Man, you can just tell that arm power from Justin LeBron is something special, makes it look effortless.
It's a new level of defensive ability when you just are satisfying to watch on a 6-3 ground out.
That's exactly what Bourne had last season in Merrick Houston. You can make an argument he's the best fielder in college baseball, and LeBron's the second best. So Bourne's got it at the most important position, you could say, in the field, shortstop. First pitch of this at-bat to Duncan Matthews, just high on a fastball. 1-0 to get us going. It's a very low top of the zone. The 5'8" catcher at the plate sees the 1-0 and fouls it back. 1-1. Matthews has reached twice today on 2 errors. How often do you see that? 2 at-bats, or 2 plate appearances, I should say. 2 errors. He scored the first time. 1-1. Just low on the off-speed. 2-1.
Maybe using some witchcraft to mess up the defenders.
I guess so. Something like that. Shorey, the 2-1. Outside and past the catcher Smithwick, but with no one on, he watches it go by, and the Bourne ball boys go pick it up.
Not much battle today between the Bourne and Chatham ball boys. We saw a little bit yesterday with Harwich.
Shorey, the 3-1. Here's the pitch. Upstairs, ball 4, fastball. And that's a 2-out walk. So after quick work of the first 2 up, Duncan Matthews walks. And that brings Travis Sanders to the plate. Third baseman, he's flown out to right twice today. He's got a runner on here in the top of the 6th inning with Chatham down 3-2 and 2 outs.
Yeah, weak contact out to right field twice so far, but that was both against Petty. New pitcher, let's see if it changes.
Petty, the left-hander, set at the belt. Pitch. In for a strike, fastball up and outside. 0-1. Shorey looks down at his glove for the signs. Puts his glove against his right hip, and now puts the ball in the glove at his belt. Look over to first. The 0-1. Fastball in for a strike, up and outside again. Similar part of the zone, and it's 0-2. Shorey a strike away from getting out of this against the number 9 hitter. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Shorey comes set. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Went with the changeup, and Sanders was completely off balance. That's the 3rd strikeout of the outing for Glenn Shorey. He gets out of the top of the 6th after giving up no hits, no errors. He did leave 1 on, and we're heading into the middle of the 6th. Don't go anywhere. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
When you need to dig, lift, move, cut, or just about anything else, then dial up the Rental Source staffed with equipment and construction experts. They'll help you get the right machine for the job and make sure it's delivered when and where you need it. With locations across New England and the newest and most reliable inventory, Milton Rents is your local source.
Time for the bottom of the 6th from Dorham Park. Adam Gotkin, Devon Jarvis with you here on the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network. Once again, we apologize for the technical difficulties today. Usually we have a video broadcast for home games, but home opener for us, and we just had some technical difficulties, things not going our way. Hopefully we'll have that fixed up by the next home game. But either way, we're in the bottom of the 6th. Bourne leads 3-2, and Logan Hughes steps in to lead things off. First pitch from Calder is just low off speed, and the count 1-0. Hughes 0 for 2 today, ground out to first and a strikeout swinging. Yesterday, though, the Cape League Player of the Day, according to Codball. 1-0 in for a strike on a fastball, 1-1. Had a home run in the 9th as well as a double. Calder, the left-hander, kicks and deals. And it's bounced towards second. Mendoza fields it, moving back, throws to first sidearm. And it's well in time to beat out Hughes. A 4-3 ground out gets us going in the bottom of the 6th.
Hasn't looked as solid today. The contact that he's had, too, has just been weaker. He'll have those ebbs and flows naturally.
Weber Niels heads to the plate, the right-handed hitting designated hitter. Out of the University of Minnesota. 1 for 2 today with a single and a strikeout. First pitch, in for a strike. Curveball down the middle, 0-1. Niels just finished up his junior year at the University of Minnesota. Is draft eligible this year, so could hear his name called in July. 0-1. Hit hard towards center field, ranging in his forward. He puts his glove down, slides, and makes the catch. Feet first slide for Henry Ford, the big 6'5" center fielder. And he got his glove down in time to make the catch for out number 2.
How pretty is that? Made it look effortless.
Truly did. Brings Campbell Smithwick to the plate, the former Angler. He's 0 for 1 today with a strikeout and a walk. Today, his Bourne debut. Didn't see any action yesterday. Smithwick out of Ole Miss in the transfer portal, though. First pitch to him, just outside on a slider, 1-0. Smithwick, a native of Oxford, Mississippi, so next year he'll be calling a new college a new home for the first time, moving away from his hometown. The 1-0. Fastball just catches the knees, 1-1.
I've always wondered what it's like to grow up in a college town.
Yeah,
Different.
It's got to be interesting.
Yeah, like, are you just empty during the summer, or like what goes on?
I've got no clue. The 1-1. Just catches the upper part of the plate, 1-2. Now I'm from I go to school in Syracuse.
Right.
But it's a city outside of the school, so I don't think it's much of a difference. Ithaca maybe for you.
Yeah.
A little bit.
I grew up next to a college town in Fairfield, Connecticut.
The 1-2. Fouled back, out of play, over towards the school. Although Fairfield's not that much of a college town, really, is it? It's just a town with colleges in it.
I would say somewhere in between the two. It drops off a little bit without Sacred Heart and Fairfield University students there.
Okay. But still a town that can hold its own.
For sure.
The 1-2. And the dirt, 2-2. Campbell Smithwick at the plate. Ethan Calder on the mound. We're in the bottom of the 6th. Bourne leads by 1. Calder can get out of it here. It would be huge for Bourne to get some insurance heading into the final 3 innings. Calder at the belt. The 2-2. Bounce third base side. A roller took a weird hop, and Sanders had no chance. Finally picks it up and gets a throw off somehow, but it's not in time. And that's an infield single for Campbell Smithwick.
Super odd bounce as it came out of the third base side grass. It's not really groomed the most well by the base, and that's why it took a weird hop. In the process, Sanders almost did a 360 and still had a chance if he had a better throw. But
I don't know how he held on to it, honestly.
Impressive. Very much so.
Noah Franco steps up to the plate, the left-handed hitter out of TCU. First pitch is skied in the air towards center. Ford ranging back in front of the warning track. He makes a basket catch for out number 3. So that does it for the bottom of the 6th inning. No runs for Bourne on 1 hit, no errors. 1 man left on base. Before we go to break, we've got a couple sponsors for you.
Keystone Place at Buzzards Bay is Bourne's premier senior living community, conveniently located adjacent to the Cape Cod Canal. Visit us at KeystonePlace at buzzardsbay.com.
We'll step aside for a minute. 7th inning up next.
dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
We're into the final 3 innings.
Now
Welcome back
batting
into
number
Dorman
5,
Park.
Ethan
Adam
Mendoza.
Gotkin, Devon, Jarvis with you. Our sideline reporter, Ariel, Tamir-Pinsky, also a part of this broadcast. 3-2, Bourne leads Chatham. Glenn Shorey back out onto the mound for the Bravos. Came in relief of Zane Petty, who went 4 2/3. A really solid outing. First pitch is in the dirt, bounced just below the feet of Ethan Mendoza. Chatham dugout saying it hit him, but Mendoza steps back in with a count of 1-0. The right-handed hitting leadoff hitter for Chatham, leading off an inning for the second time today. First time after the first. Watches the fastball miss upstairs, 2-0. Mendoza 1 for 2 with a walk. That walk came to start the game. Shorey looks in. From the wind, here it comes. Fastball outside, 3-0. Looks like some action in the Bourne bullpen. Couple guys starting to get loose. Shorey the 3-0. In for a strike, fastball inside part of the plate. We've got a couple finals across the Cape League. YD beat Orleans 4-0. Both those teams now 1-1 on the season. 3-1. Fastball down the middle, 3-2. Another final, second extra innings game of the season. Katuitt beat Wareham 2-1. 3-2. Popped up right field. Hughes moves a few feet in towards his left to the line, and he makes the catch over his head for out number 1. Or actually, apologies, that's now Franco in right. Hughes has moved to left. So after the error from Franco in left field, I guess he moves to his more comfortable spot in right. It does bring Isaiah Lane to the plate, the right-handed hitting shortstop, 0 for 2 with a walk today. First pitch from Shorey, a ground ball towards short, softly hit. LeBron races infield with the glove, throws to first in time for out number 2. 6-3 on the first pitch, and we've got 2 gone.
Good work by this entire defensive unit, and Shorey just
Now
drawing
batting
weak
number
contact
37,
so far
Henry
from
Ford.
Chatham. The combination of Petty and Shorey doing a great job so far.
Some other scores around the league. Falmouth up 3-2 on Brewster in the end of the 6th. First pitch to Henry Ford misses in the count, 1-0. Also, Hyannis up 4-1 over Harwich in the top of the 8th. Shorey kicks and deals. Just low. Took some off on that pitch and wasn't very happy with the result. 2-0 the count to Ford. He scored a run as an RBI and fouls off the 2-0 off the netting and back towards the field of play. 2-1 the count. Max Bayless, the man warming up in the bullpen for Bourne, the right-hander out of Santa Clara. The pitch just misses. 3-1. Shorey looks down at his wrist. Into the wind, here it is. Swing and a miss, 3-2.
A little bit less command this inning, but still staying in it.
Here's the payoff pitch. Popped up straight in the air, first base side, moving towards the out-of-play line, and Braden Holcomb moves back over the foul line, makes the catch over his head for out number 3. So that does it for the top of the 7th. It's time to stretch. We'll step aside as we go in towards the bottom of the 8th. But the score still Bourne 3, Chatham 2. You're listening to the Bourne Braves Broadcast Network.
Cape Cod 5 is proud to be the official banking partner of the Cape Cod Baseball League. Cape Cod 5 offers a broad range of financial products and services tailored for every stage in your financial journey. Reach out to us. We're here to help.
Bottom of the 7th inning. Bourne leads Chatham 3-2. Welcome back into Durham Park. Adam Gotkin and Devon Jarvis with you. Ethan Calder back out onto the mound. The left-hander out of Baylor. Now in his 4th inning. This could be his 3rd full. First pitch to Caden Doolin is hit towards the shortstop Lane, who leaps out to his left and makes an incredible diving catch for out number 1. Wow, a very hard hit ball by Doolin. Roped it right at the shortstop Lane, who laid out to his right and made an incredible catch to retire the number 9 hitter to start off the bottom of the 7th. That brings up John LeGrand, the leadoff hitter in this Bourne lineup, who's 1 for 3 today. Flew to left his last time up. Lefty-lefty matchup. First pitch fouled back over the netting towards the school. The count 0-1. Sanders at third, playing a few feet in, couple steps away from the grass. Everyone else in the infield playing a bit back against the left-handed hitter. Calder set. Here's the 0-1. Popped up once again, first base side, foul out of play and towards the school. Big race after it with about 4 kids, and the one with the neon green shirt pushes a kid with the black shirt and picks up the ball. Oh man, that was pretty ruthless behind me. But either way, 0-2 on the field. Here's the pitch, and it's hit softly towards the shortstop Lane. He moves back, leaps up, and can't make the catch. It bounces out of his glove. LeGrand on his way to second. He's in with the feet first slide, not even a throw. And the Braves have a runner in scoring position here in the bottom of the 7th inning with just 1 gone. Now, Devon, it'll be interesting to see how that play is scored, whether it's an A6 or a base hit. Still nothing on the scoreboard, but that really could go either way. They do give an error. That's the 3rd of the game on Chatham.
It's been the killer. Had a few errors yesterday. Really pitched a gem yesterday. Just allowed 1 run. 16 strikeouts. I mean, you couldn't ask for much more. A few errors in there, which brought him down. But, again, they're pitching a solid game. It's those errors that have been difficult. Looks like they actually take the error away now.
So, yeah, the error taken away. That might be a base hit. It was a very awkward play. As the official score does have it in officially now. as a double. So that's the second double of the season for LeGrand. Jay Powell is out on the mound for a visit, the pitching coach for Chatham. By the way, big news in the baseball world today, especially for those Braves fans who are local. Rafi Devers, Red Sox star, traded to the San Francisco Giants. A shocking move. The All-Star headed to the other side of the country.
Pretty nuts.
Jay Powell, the pitching coach, back towards his seat in the dugout. And Justin LeBron digs into the right-handed batter's box. A runner in scoring position is John LeGrand. Bourne up 3-2, looking for some insurance in the bottom of the seventh. First pitch, LeBron watches it in, called strike on a fastball outside part of the plate, 0-1.
Another big moment for LeBron. We saw him here in the third with a runner on second, was able to drive him in for the RBI.
The 0-1, outside, 1-1. That RBI single for LeBron, his only hit of the season. He's 1 for 8. Hasn't struck out today, did strike out 3 times yesterday. Calder looks back to second, looks home, back to second, now kicks and deals. It's inside, 2-1. LeBron had to move his back leg out of the way to ensure he didn't get hit in the bone. Right-hander digs back in, taps his bat against the plate, swings it forward, and settles into the box. Hands now right near his right ear. The 2-1 pitch, swung on and missed. 2-2 to LeBron. K. Lewis on deck, Braden Holcomb in the hole. Heart of the Bourne order up for what potentially could be the last time today in the bottom of the seventh. They'd love to give this pitching staff some help. 2-2. Calder set at the belt. The high kick, and the pitch will have to wait as he spins around and throws to second to keep LeGrand at bay. The second baseman, Mendoza, who caught it, wasn't close to the bag. But LeBron steps back in, looking to bring home LeGrand at second. 2-2, 1 out. Bourne up by 1 in the bottom of the seventh. Calder set, here's the pitch. Fouled back, first base side, out of play. LeBron stays alive.
Justin's such a patient batter, but when he does decide to swing, it's violent. He really goes after the ball. We've seen it, especially in this at-bat, how much he puts into each swing.
Definitely has great hand speed. Calder set, 2-2, swing and a miss in the dirt. LeBron running towards first, and the throw goes into second. LeGrand is tagged out. Nice heads-up play there from Matthews. LeGrand was trying to bait him into the throw to allow LeBron to reach safely. LeBron reached safe, but the baiting didn't work. The out at second.
Now batting.
Really smart defensive baseball there. And you do exactly what you want. You get rid of the leadoff runner. You put LeBron in the base path, but just a tough spot right there. You can't have that if you're LeGrand. Got to pay a little bit closer attention, but again, good catcher play.
First pitch to Lewis, misses low. The count 1-0. That's the second out on the base paths for Bourne in this game. When you look at maybe why things went wrong, that's usually the first thing you look at, and already 2 for the Bravos, in addition to the 2 errors. Pickoff attempt, LeBron back in at first. Definitely has not been super clean baseball so far for Bourne this season, but not even 2 games in. That's expected.
Gotta shake the rust off.
Calder, the lefty, set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball just low to the left-handed hitting Lewis. The count 2-0. Infield and outfield both playing straight up defensively. Only the first baseman holding LeBron on the bag, and he'll get the throw towards him. Pickoff attempt once again. LeBron back in, standing up. 2-0, 2 outs here in the bottom of the seventh. Bourne up by 1, but searching for insurance. K. Lewis at the plate. Out of Wake Forest, sees the 2-0 and hits it hard towards left field. Jackson ranging back, and that drops. Bounces towards the fence. Getting the wave around third is LeBron. The throw home won't even come. It's an RBI double for K. Lewis, and Bourne leads 4-2.
What a huge hit. And the wheels on LeBron to come all the way in from first. An amazing home debut for Cade Lewis as he's adding those insurance runs onto Bourne's total. He got that 2-run lead now, and finally, we didn't see it yesterday, but this top half of the order is coming to play at home for the first time this season.
Cade Lewis has now reached base 3 times today on an error and a walk before that double, his first hit of the game. Braden Holcomb steps up with Lewis in scoring position and 2 outs. Now a 2-run lead in the bottom of the 7th. Holcomb singled back in the 4th. The kick and the pitch. Swing and a miss. 0-1. Holcomb readjusts his batting gloves. Takes a long look at his bright blue barrel on his wood bat. And now puts his bat on his right shoulder. Awaiting the pitch. Here it is. Bounce towards the third base side. Fielded on a high hop from Sanders. Throw to first in time. And that retires Holcomb. So that does it for the bottom of the 7th inning, but not before Bourne gets another run. Cade Lewis with the RBI double to bring home Justin LeBron. And before we go to break, we will send things over to our sideline reporter, Ariel Tamir-Pinsky, who has more.
Well, Adam, it is Father's Day today, and many of these players are not able to be with their families and their dads. They come traveling from their hometowns, their college towns to play with this team on the Cape. I talked to catcher Campbell Smithwick earlier before the game. He said he would love to have his dad in the stands today. His dad played Division I college baseball for Western Carolina, coached him his whole life. He says that he texts him about details about every pitch thrown at him. He really appreciates his dad's input and would love to have him here. He appreciates these broadcasts so his dad could watch. His parents even moved to Oxford to watch him at Old Miss this past year.
Well, Mr. Smithwick, thanks so much for listening to the broadcast. We really appreciate it.
Oh, we really, really do. So Bourne leads 4-2 as we're here going into the top of the 8th. And as we do that, I will hand the play-by-play duties back over to Devon Jarvis.
Thank you very much, Adam. You know, once again, it's a Father's Day Sunday evening with some Bourne baseball. Happy Father's Day to all those out there listening and here at the ballpark.
We really would not be here without the help from our fathers.
You could say that's true.
You know, I'm a baseball fan because of my dad, because of his dad and my mom's dad. No, I always love to tell people my parents' first date was a baseball game. Well, it was just meant to be for me to be a baseball guy.
I have you beat.
Okay.
My parents
were they playing baseball?
Got engaged at a baseball game.
I'd be too scared to do that.
Yeah. Pulled it out of a Cracker Jack box.
Wow.
Ring came out, got down on one knee, and there you go.
I don't know if I have you beat, but another wrinkle to my story. It was actually my mom's birthday. She had no idea.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no one told my dad. My mom's not a big birthday guy, but their first date at a baseball game. Orioles against someone.
Okay. Did the Orioles win?
No clue.
Now the mound for the Braves, number 25.
Well, I wonder. They must have won because that was a good sign for the relationship to come.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah. Top of the 8th inning. It's Maxwell Bayless up to pitch here against Jake Hanley. First pitch in there for a called ball.
I'm really excited to see Bayless out on the mound. Right-hander out of Santa Clara. Invited to Team USA. He's got special stuff.
The 1-0 cut on and missed. He's got a really interesting arm angle, too. Comes down a little bit outside. And right now just needs to close out these last two. First save opportunity of the season for Bourne. The 1-1 pitch. Off speed, just misses low.
Bayless just whips it in with that right arm. Just watching him warm up, he jumped out to me, without a doubt, as a guy who you can tell is just an uncomfortable at-bat.
He works from the stretch with no one on. The 2-1. Skied high. Should be shallow center. LeGrand takes 5 steps in, calls everyone off, and grabs it. Just 5 steps out of the second base outfield.
LeGrand really does play short. How about that? it's definitely been noticeable.
Now
He didn't move much to catch that.
I mean, you're looking at the wind, too. It's coming straight in from center field. We haven't once seen a ball behind LeGrand.
No, we've seen other outfielders have to go back, but not him. So it's working.
It is. Daniel Jackson, the left fielder, takes the first pitch inside and low for ball number 1. So far today, Jackson has been 0 for 3. 2 flyouts and a strikeout looking back in the 5th. It's been a while since he's up. First 2 pitches, balls. Infield playing straight up as the sky's getting pretty dark here. Crowd has dwindled just a little bit. So the 2-0 pitch catches the side of Smithwick behind home plate and tails off. It's a 3-0 count. In the hole, Jackson Freeman, the right fielder. Cole Johnson, or rather on deck, is Freeman. The 3-0. Called at the top of the zone for strike number 1. Left fielder in Jackson stepping in here for Chatham where they need some support. Here's the 3-1. A nice soft speed that catches the zone.
That was filthy. Great movement. Bayless put everything into it, too. Big grunt as he released.
Not many pitchers work exclusively from the stretch. Bayless does. The 3-2. Hard grounder. It's foul.
Say it's from the stretch, but it's almost a wind-up stretch where he still takes that extra step that you don't have the luxury to do when there is a runner on.
I guess you could say like almost Kershaw a little bit.
Yes.
But not as elaborate. The payoff low. And the base runner on for Jackson, first of the inning. Now Jackson Freeman, the right fielder. He's had a little bit more success than Daniel Jackson, who now resides on first base. A good base hit to center field, a walk in the 4th, and a strikeout looking back in the 6th, where he led things off. For the first time, he sees Maxwell Bayless. Here's the first offering against the lefty. Just low. One out on the board. Holcomb keeping the runner honest at first. Rest of the infield playing straight up. And the outfield straight up, except for LeGrand a few steps in from his normal post. 1-0 in the dirt. Good job by Smithwick to be on it early.
He's looked impressive so far behind the plate.
He has.
It's always interesting, especially at the beginning of seasons when pitchers and catchers are still getting used to each other. But Smithwick has been completely clean.
A strong lead for Jackson at first. Here's the pitch. 2-0. High chopped grounder gets past Bayless. A field by Doolin. Out at first. Holcomb was off the bag. He couldn't quite get there in time. Excuse me. And Holcomb was trying to reach his arm out just a little bit further to let the ball get to him faster, and he pays the price for his aggressiveness.
Yeah, Scott Landers is happy. He walked out of the dugout to ask for an explanation, but it looked like Holcomb did shift a little bit off the bag. The throw beat him, but he just couldn't keep that back foot on the bag.
No error attributed, so it's a base hit with runners on 1 and 2, 1 out on the board. The righty in Cole Johnson and designated hitter steps in. The first offering, rocketed out left field. Stepping in is Hughes. He makes the grab.
It's a massive out.
Huge.
Get the second out here in the top of the 8th. Put your team just 4 outs away.
Now batting number 25.
Especially with runners on first
Matthews.
and second. Now you can kind of slow things down, calm things down.
For Bayless, too, who was getting in a little bit of an awkward position, has fallen back in counts early. Needs to get ahead. First pitch here against Duncan Matthews. Fastball down Main Street. Call it strike 1. Has reached base 3 times. 2 by error, 1 by a base on balls. The 0-1 set to come in with 2 outs. So look at second. In the stretch, he fires. Hard grounder. Doolin with the grab after 1 hop. Side on toss to first. Holcomb gets, and that's the side retired. Bourne bats come out for the bottom of the 8th. We'll take a short break here on the Bourne Braves Baseball Network on Cape League TV and be back for some more Chatham and Bourne baseball.
You can dream it, if you can cruise in it, if you can summer in it, fish from it, or take it for a day at the beach, we can protect it. The Baldwin Group, protecting the possible.
Little John Mellencamp to get us going here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Devon Jarvis alongside Adam Gotkin for your coverage. Chatham with their defense out, and the Bourne Braves looking to add a little bit of insurance to their 4-2 lead. To begin, we have Logan Hughes, who was the Cape Cod player of the day just a day ago, according to Cape Ball on Twitter. Had a double and a home run in the loss against Harwich. Let's see if he can add some insurance. He got that home run as the first batter in the top of the 9th. He's the first batter in the bottom of the 8th here. First pitch offering. A called strike 3 down Broadway. Strike 1. Bourne has been playing an extremely solid game to this point. Their offense never really finding a lull. It's been pretty consistent throughout. 1 ball, 1 strike the count. From the windup, here's the pitch. Fouled straight back. Adam, there was one at you earlier. That one came straight at me this time. New pitcher in the game for Chatham as well. It's Duke Stone out of Mississippi. Big frame, 6'5", 225. 5.79 ERA at Mississippi State. He's got a pitcher's count right now. The 1-2 offering. This one skied shallow center field. Calling for it is Mendoza. He'll make the grab with his heels just a few feet in from the outfield grass. 1 up, 1 down. Hughes goes back to the dugout. Hasn't quite been his day.
It's interesting how this sport works, isn't it? Yesterday, it looked like Hughes was one of the best players on this team. Hit that home run in the double. Today, he goes 0 for 4. But it's a long season. So, at least he's having good at-bats, getting decent swings on it. The one thing you don't want to see is a guy look like they're giving up. Hughes is still putting in good at-bats.
Yes, he is. Weber Neal's the next one in for Bourne. He steps in from the right side. Takes the first pitch for a high ball. Duke Stone just came off his senior season as he gets a called strike in there at Mississippi State. Grew up in Georgia, kind of the center of the state, 2 hours south of Savannah. The 1-1. This one hammered hard out into left center field. Charging in on it is Ford. He's got a spot. Can of corn for him. 2 outs on the board. As Weber Niels goes back and hands things over
now batting
to Campbell
from Ole
Smithwick.
Miss, number 45, Campbell Smithwick.
Smithwick so far today has been talented offensively and defensively. A walk, a double. He's been really solid. Two outs on the board, bases, no one on. Here's the first to Smithwick. Stone skips it in the dirt, about 3 feet in front of home plate. And a long lob toss by Matthews back to the rubber. A red shin guard for Smithwick. Man's that ice white uniform with the number 45 on his back. From the windup, the 1-0. Stone, as Smithwick gets a piece, fouls it back. The count, 1-2. Rather, 1-1. Bullpens seem to be off duty for either side as each team has their pitching staff hanging over the right and left field fence respectively. Eager to see how the rest of this game plays out. Bourne with a 4-2 lead at the moment here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Are just looking to add insurance runs. Chatham, on the other hand, looking to keep it empty. The 1-1. A half swing from Smithwick. A check at third for umpire Robert McHugh. He did not go.
I always think it's important to at least get one guy on in the bottom of the 8th. Put a little bit of pressure on entering extra innings. Or not extra innings, entering the 9th inning to not allow extra innings to happen.
2-1, fouled back. Smithwick battling here, staying in it. As about a dozen youngins here in attendance at Doran Park charge to bring a foul ball home from some future major leaguers.
You at least want to put some pressure on. Make Chatham think before going back out there at the plate.
The 2-2 pitch. Late to it again with Smithwick. He fouls it down the first base line, and those same kids are charging again. It's a foot race.
Well, you missed it earlier. They were pushing back and forth a little bit.
Oof.
Like right behind, kind of in the spot where I can see no one else can. They get physical out there. They really fight for the balls.
Very competitive. 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch incoming. We'll do it again. Here's Stone from the windup. Outside pitch, fouled straight down. Duncan Matthews, the catcher, was ready to make the throw at first. Sam Finn behind home plate calls it foul.
It's a good 2-strike approach from Smithwick. We've seen it for a couple pitches now here. Really shortened things up. Chokes up on the bat as well.
A little bit of an outside pitch there, but he still keeps contact on it. The count again, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Here's Stone. Straight down Broadway. A called strike 3 to retire the side and bring the Chatham bats back up in the top of the 9th. Let's see if they can do it. We'll take a short break and step aside here for a moment. Chatham's last chance coming up after a few minutes.
Been a ton of training when it comes to bat speed or products for players to be able to train bat speed. You can improve your bat speed and reach your goals working 10 to 15 minutes a day on this a couple of times a week. That's a no-brainer for every player.
Chatham's got one more shot. It's opening day at Dorn Park. The fans are happy with it so far. A 4-2 lead for the Braves. Now the A's final chance, Adam.
Now batting number 9, Travis Sanders.
The bottom of the order to start. Second leadoff, Travis Sanders. Then we go back to the top for Ethan Mendoza, the second baseman, and Isaiah Lane, the shortstop. Sanders so far 2 flyouts and a strikeout looking. He'll face Max Bayless for the first time this evening.
Uh-oh. Kid dropped the ball in center field. LeGrand had to run all the way out and pick it up.
Nice to see him doing some community work beyond just his duties defensively in center field.
I'm not sure he had a choice. They can't play with the ball in the field.
Fair enough. Here's the first pitch. Low of the zone, a fastball, ball 1. Sanders playing third base today. Solid defensively, no mistakes. Here's the 1-0. Another fastball that misses the zone. Bayless in his windup kind of does it from the stretch, but again takes that little sidestep to make it a windup. The 2-0. Low again, skips in the dirt. 3 balls, no strikes.
He's got one difference, though, if you've noticed, when he goes from the stretch. He does the, is it the Kenley Jansen where your arm is like down? He does that.
When he's looking for the call. The 3-0. Also low again. 4 consecutive balls to put Sanders on base. Now we have your game-tying run in the batter's box for Ethan Mendoza.
That's not how you want to start the top of the 9th. A 4-pitch walk, no action in the Bourne bullpen, so it seems as if it'll come down to what Bayless can do here.
That big lean in with the elbows out for Bayless to start. First pitch. Once again low. He missed low 4 times consecutively against Sanders. It's now 5 in a row.
Actually, it does look like there is some action now in the Bourne bullpen. Derek Smith getting up and loose.
Out of NC State. A safety measure if they need it. The 1-0. Finally a called strike. Bottom third of the zone. And Mendoza didn't even think about it.
That was an important one, just to get that strike.
Bring himself back in the count. Gets the sign, not using. Two 2-1 count now. He peers in at Smithwick to make the call. 2 balls, 1 strike. Here's Bayless with his back at first. The righty from the stretch deals. This one he pulls away into the lefty batter box. 3-1 the count. His last 8 pitches have been split by 7 as a ball, 1 as a strike. The waggle from the front of the batter's box. Here's the pitch. Down center. It was a take sign for Mendoza. And the count is full. The last thing you want is the tying run in the base path right now. A full count for Bayless. Cheers from the Bourne faithful. The pitch. Left side of the infield. Picked up by LeBron. A long throw across to first. Low. Holcomb makes the grab and a huge out. Not an easy play for the shortstop in Justin LeBron, but he makes it look easy. 1 out on the board.
That's like a really awkward hop off the lip of the grass. We've seen a couple of them in this game, but a great job by LeBron to adjust to it and use that rock out of an arm to get the out at first. Disregards that runner at second, Sanders, because, well, who cares if you win 4-3? It's all about just winning the game, and Sanders can score without changing anything.
Crowding the plate is Isaiah Lane, the shortstop. And once again, representing the tying run. He chops at the first pitch low in the zone. It's 0-1. LeBron also likely didn't have time to make the play at second.
Definitely not.
As well. Sanders sits on second base. He can cut this game to a 1-run ball game if he scores. The 0-1 pitch. Half swing at the plate by Lane, but a called strike nonetheless. Lane will step out and take a few practice swings. Look over to the third base coaching box for Brett Doe. Now he crowds the plate once again. 0-2 pitch. Just barely misses the zone, low and inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Isaiah Lane, the junior out of San Diego. A's need him big. He fouls one off down the first base line and over the fence. Bayless really taking his time right now. Working in the mid-80s.
Got a really nice curveball he's been utilizing a lot here.
All 3 of the Bourne pitchers have been using their arsenal quite a bit. The 1-2. Low and inside once again. The breaking ball misses. Top of the 9th. And the A's are really at their final chance here. Two the count. Here's the pitch from the stretch. Another pitch missed low and inside. 3 in a row in the same spot. He walked Travis Sanders with 4 low pitches. And now he's worked this up from an 0-2 count to a full count. The payoff coming from Bayless. A called strike 3. Got him looking. And Lane knew it right away.
Batting number 37, Henry Ford.
You got to take your bat off the shoulder there.
You got to at least try, right?
Top of the 9th inning, down by 2. I mean, that's almost as down the middle as it gets. With an off speed as well. Got to swing.
The final hope is Henry Ford. He'll ground it sharply to short. Picked up by Justin LeBron. Taps his glove, throw over to first in time, and that's the ball game. Bourne win in 8.5. Final score 4-2. And the Braves get their first win of the season at Doran Park on the home opener.
That's a really impressive win for this team. I think that we've seen a lot in these first 2 games, if you're Bourne, that you're happy about. This time, you give up a run in the 3rd inning, you bounce right back and you score 2. I think that's one of the things that is not talked about enough, is how quickly can you respond and not play from behind. Bourne then played with the lead the entire game after going behind, which is so impressive. We saw a lot of guys in the field look really strong. You know, a couple errors, some walks, but that happens early in the season. Overall, I think if you're Bourne, if you're the Bourne crowd, you're pretty happy after this first home game.
Bourne playing some really good baseball today. I mean, you really look at their last 16 innings at them. They're outscoring opponents 9-2.
Yeah, ever since that first, it's been really, really good. And, you know, this team is hustling. This team is hitting for power. I think that's the thing that might be impressing me the most right now. We saw that Kate Lewis double. Just what those can do for your team when you can hit for extra bases. It's really hard to put into words just how important it is, because it changes everything. You're so much more confident when you believe you can hit for power. That's something this team just didn't have last year, but we can already see they have it this year.
And almost all of these guys were able to get their bat to ball today. 6 of the 9 batters, for Bourne, had a really solid base hit. That was either a double or just a well-hit ball into the outfield. You talk about that power. It's going to build confidence for these hitters down the line, and there's still more hitters on this roster we haven't seen yet.
And potentially some of the best ones that we still haven't seen yet. Those Arkansas guys.
Camden
Kojal. I mean, there are some studs that are going to be coming here.
Peyton Bonds as well. He arrived earlier. He's back with the team. We could see him in the next coming games.
It all depends on what happens, though, in Omaha right now. For those of you college baseball fans, Coastal Carolina up 5-1 over Oregon State. Our Coastal alum for the Braves, Blake Barthel, he scored a run today. Caden Bodine has scored a run. Bourne Braves everywhere. Bourne Braves victorious today. It's a good day to be a Bravo, Devon.
Not a bad day at all. Thanks for all of you listening on the YouTube and Cape League TV. We really appreciate it. As New York, New York by Frank Sinatra finishes out, we will sign off here from Doran Park. On behalf of our sideline reporter, Ariel Tamir-Pinsky, our producer, Gabriella Voccio, my fellow play-by-play broadcaster, Adam Gotkin. I'm Devon Jarvis, saying so long from Dorn Park in Bourne, Massachusetts. Have a great evening, everybody.